This lesson is going to be an introduction to functions lesson. You might see a table where you have your input and your output. The input is the x value and the output is the y value. It asks you to rewrite the data in the table as ordered pairs, or we want to write it as a relation. So all I'm doing, remember when you write an ordered pair, it's a parenthesis, the x value, a comma, then the y value, and another parenthesis. So I'm going to write my ordered pairs as a list. So I have 2, 4, -3, -6, and 5, -1. That is a relation for the data that's in the table. It's just a list of the ordered pairs from the table. I can do the same thing but using it on the grid. So I have to identify the ordered pairs for those 5 points. So starting on the left, working my way towards the right, I have -3, 2. I have -1, -4. I have 2, -5. I have 3, 0. And the last one I have is 4, 3. That is my relation for the ordered pairs on the grid. In order to determine if a relation in a table is a function, you have to look if the input repeats. The input can repeat as long as it doesn't have a different output. Meaning if I put in a 5 into the equation or into the relation, I would expect the same number to come out every single time. So if we look at relation A, the list of ordered pairs from the table, relation A is a function because none of those inputs in the x column repeat. Relation B, however, is not a function because the zeros as the input repeats. And I'm going to add something here. I'm going to add not just repeats, but it repeats with a different output. Because in this one, I could have 17, 22 a whole bunch more times and have it still be a function because the input can repeat, but the output has to be the same thing. If the output is different, like it is in relation B, because the 0, the first one, the output is 7, but on the second 0, the output is 12. That's not a function because when you put in the same thing, you should be able to get out the same thing in return. So let's take a look at something that I have called function man. Function man takes the inputs, which are the numbers you see in the yellow box, and it puts it in the machine. And in this case, it adds 3 to the value, and then it spits out your output or your y. So if I put in a 4, if we add 3 to it, I'm going to get a 7 out. If I put in a 6, I add 3 to it, I'm going to get a 9 out. If I put in a 9, I add 3 to it, I'm going to get a 12 out. So if I put in x, because remember my input value is x, my output value is y, I know that I'm going to take whatever I put in and I'm going to add 3 to it. So my function rule is going to be y equals x plus 3 because whatever I'm putting in is my input x. I'm taking it and adding 3 to it to get my output value y.